All right, so Minkuna wants us to listen to from an anime, Koku, if I got that right. I'm old. It's just what it is. And the name of the song here is Flashback, or MIYAVI versus KenKen. All right, let's do this. Minkuna, for you, for winning the Wheel of Cheese. Shock a doobies. Let's go. All right.
Coming in, coming out, my wallet me tell me now. Knows mommy leather, you can see me, but you hear me loud. Don't that make you crazy now? Don't that make you crazy now? Never come la second, no se caiba, it's all upside down.
Funky track, man. This is badass. I like that gated reverb on the kick. A little bit of Flea vibes, right? Chili Peppers. I love the hybrid EDM vibes. Very hooky. I like how they softened it up with the pads behind the vocals. So apparently that's a pretty short song. First of all, really super hooky. So da 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 da. It's already in my head. It's burned into my head. The second it opened up, the first thing that came to my mind really quick was it had kind of a little bit of a Flea vibe, Red Hot Chili Peppers, just into the bass arrangement. Really, you know, super contemporary as far as the engineering is concerned and everything. Obviously, I don't know what the lyrics are saying or what the anime is about. But if this was a theme for the anime, or if this was a theme for a section or something like that, it seemed like just a real super kind of like, I would call it kind of a funky scene transitional kind of piece of music in an anime or something that's like, you know, going out and party kind of a vibe. One of the things that I enjoy about tracks like this is really good trap programming. You know, as simple as it may have seemed, because it was really just 4 on the floor, right? It really just had kind of a housey rave kind of, you know, vibe to it as far as tempo and sticking 4 on the floor. I just like really good, really solid trap programming without getting over the top with, you know, and it's kind of hard too because you got the hi-hats. It's very high up there in the top. You have the snare. The high end of the snare kind of soaks up a little bit of the tone of the high part of the tone area. But one of the things that I thought was really super cool, and I never got around to learning how to do, I always had to, like if I got hired to do work that the publisher says, I need one of those things where the snare starts off really slow and it speeds all the way up. I'm going, but how do I do, you know, I'm like, I'm old school. And then you realize, oh shit, there's sample libraries that actually have that in there, or part of the patch, you know, that's something that's in there. But love the track, super hooky, super memorable. Shaka doobies, man. All right. All right, so you know Jesus wants us to listen to a track from an anime. Oh, back-to-back anime. All right, let's go. So this is the anime. I'm going to get this wrong because you guys do that to me. Gachi Okuta, and the name of the song is Outlaws Get No Entry. What a great name for a track. All right, guys, here we go. All right. Yeah, you know you were getting into some kind of subtropical. Oh, loving this. This is badass. Wow. You know, there's just that one little loop back there to me that really revs it up. And is this right? Bra, bra, bra. There's like an Afro, like a naninga, for those of you who know African percussive styles, in there. This is badass. I love what they decided to do with the bass and connect it all. There's a very low percussion back there that's being smoked, but in a very low tone, so you feel this little boom. Loved every single bit about this. The fact that, I mean, all the little different colors and little spices they were putting in there with the vocals and stuff, and the percussive pattern of the background vocals locked in with. I don't know if there was a series of different kinds of percussion in that arrangement that sounded like it was kind of cross-pollinating. Latin American, some African, and actually some Pakistani style. There's so many drums around the world. I'm not that guy that I can tell one drum from another when it gets to a certain point. Usually when I start to be able to do that is based on the cultural pattern that I hear that's being played. Then you can sit there and say, wow, this really sounds like it's like kind of a salsa African thing, so therefore the percussions might look like this, whereas completely different if it was, you know, India, Pakistan, or anything like that, and hearing that patterns and stuff like that and getting used to the tones of the drums, I'd be able to, but, you know, even here in Hawaii, you know, the Polynesians and the native Hawaiians made amazing drums out of actual coconut tree trunks, and using shark skin and pulling it over, get to big, warm tones. Loved this track. Now, I know nothing about this anime, but I'm assuming it sounded like, since this had kind of a tribal kind of vibe to it, that maybe this anime's, you know, Gitch is that way. Maybe a little tribe of people, or, you know, a little group of people going around doing things, whatever. But Outlaws get no entry. This was a badass track. I so dug this. Yukol wants us to listen to, from the game Command and Conquer Red Alert. The name of this track is Mud. You guys know this? Anybody know this? Let me know in the chat. Let's go. Oh, great bass patch. Synthy sinister is what I'm saying. You guys getting that? Big fat pre-delay on the reverb on that. Love this build. Kind of works good with the image. Looking through your little scope there. Once again, I'm going to lean into just a little bit of the Peter Gabriel Soul album production technique. That pad sounds like the George Michael's father figure pad, doesn't it? Yuko, when was this released? God, would I love to put a guitar solo over this. you hear the little clavi click there from like the old Lynn drum days? I love the synth patches this composer's using on everything. You notice he switched the bass patches, right? Now he's into a softer sub bump. I love this. This kind of has a little bit Pink Floyd-y-esque reset moment. A little bit of a Vangelis thing going on there, right? Chariots of Fire. This is badass on so many levels. Can you hear the little old cowbell? Listen. It's like an old TR-808. Lisa Wolf, if you're still here, where do you think that's coming from? Because I know you got those ears. What a great track. A matter of fact, the last few tracks that we've been listening to, that is, yeah, it's like an 808, or the first thing I keyed on was the old 808, or it could have been a resample of the 808 cowbell and, you know, remanipulated it. These last few gaming tracks or anime tracks and stuff like that, God, this is what I love about this journey in my life. I'm so pleased to be an old fart sitting here on the computer in a coconut by the beach and going on this journey, because I'm getting so rinsed with so much great work in such in short little snips. You know what I'm saying? One was the opening theme. The other one was short. This one wasn't as short, but this one was very visually theater of the mind. I'm going in between listening to the old patches that were used there, or old, at the time that he was the composer was writing this, I'm sure the patches were not as old as obviously 30 years later, right? I love the playing around with the bass line, and not so much the changing of the arrangement, but the changing of the sound. Came in a little grittier, a little punchier than the bass sound, and then as it went into another section, he used this lower sub booming bass thing, and he connected it too as well. And the other thing is I don't know anything about the game. Obviously, I'm looking at this thumbnail here, and it looks like it was some kind of a battle game. But even for the thumbnail, this worked really good for me in the theater of the mind. Like as if, you know, whatever that scope is here on the thumbnail, like you're looking and you're going through it and just being very slow at nighttime kind of a thing. What a great freaking track. This is the kind of track for me, and I know this sounds really funny, but I think I said it at the very beginning or a little middle of the track. I would love to do a guitar solo over this. Not do it and present it to people, but this is one of those kind of tracks where I'm like going to go, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to kind of saturate my tone just a little bit, put a long delay on it, and then behind it, I'm going to tail off like a cave reverb and just go, you know, see how my head works? There it is. That was the solo I was probably doing in my head while this was going, you know, because it left itself wide open for that. Great track. Freaking great track.